Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm so happy to have you. So my previous subscribers, welcome back to the channel. So for today's video in particular, we are going to be recording on Saturday, January the 31st at 2:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I do want to extend some hellos to Debbie and Dennis. Thank you both for joining me today. So in today's live stream, it's going to be a subscriber-based questionnaire, so anything in the link in the description and the comment section would also later on have the timestamp and the questions being asked throughout this video, because I don't really know exactly what we're talking about, but I do have some questions that I did write down, and so some of these will be talked about in today's video in regards to the 2020 ballots, President J.D. Vance, a possible earthquake, Don Lemon's arrest, Trump released COVID, or did he release COVID? The next United States leader, not president, because we don't know if they're going to be called a president. And then we have here Kristie Noem impeachment. So a couple of these will be discussed in today's video as we start to raise some questions from you guys as well. Hello, Aline. You're welcome. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about that. So this video is just for entertainment, educational purposes only as well. And if you want to help out the channel, you can help us out by liking, subscribing, hitting the bell icon, engaging with the content, sharing today's video, and even better yet, hitting the hype button really help boost the algorithm here on this YouTube channel. And if you want to stay in the loop and be notified when I do post and upload, go into the comments or the description, follow my Blue Sky account and my Facebook group, and I will personally notify you. I just notified them about roughly 15 minutes ago that I was going live. So if you want to make sure that you always catch them live, just make sure you subscribe. Anyway, let's go ahead. Let's begin. I hate long intros, and so do you. Okay, the first thing I want to talk about is the 2020 ballots. Now, if you haven't heard already, Donald Trump has seized the 2020 ballots in regard to the state of Georgia, which happened to be a swing state. And we all know Donald Trump has been beefing with the state of Georgia for quite some time, especially the fact that he lost the state. And he was saying, find me 11,000 votes. Well, Donald Trump forced the Republicans in the state of Georgia to hand over those ballots. We're going to go ahead. Let's take a look at that. Let's see, what are we looking at here? What do we see? All right, so Spirit Angels tell me about the 2020 election ballots in regards to the state of Georgia. Okay, so we have the Queen of Cups. So they're scanning for something. The Queen of Cups here means to watch something closely, to keep an eye on something. That's what the lid is. It means in the 2020 Georgia ballots, they're looking for something. You're welcome, Debbie. Welcome back. Too many cards. But we do have this card. Here is the Knight of Swords. I feel as they're looking at something, this guy who comes in after the fact is running towards her. So while Trump is looking at the ballots and stuff like that, kind of like in some aspects being distracted, something is coming in for the attack. Thank you. You're very sweet. You're very sweet. Thank you. So this is what that means. That means that he is being distracted. It also means the administration is being distracted. So maybe they're being played. Tell us more about the state of Georgia. What's going on here? And who is going in for the attack? Can you tell me the story? Okay, so we have the sun here, which means revelation and the downfall of Trump. So it does look like, so while Trump is looking at the ballots in Georgia and seeing certain things, what is being seen, what is going to be the thing that catches him on surprise, is that he actually did lose the state of Georgia. That's the Knight of Swords. It means that revelation, that reveal that actually people didn't vote for you, that you didn't actually win the state. And here it is, that sun, it just re-amplify the revelation. It's going to reignite that passion in a lot of people in the state of Georgia that, oh, you know, I'm going to vote against him again. So it's just going to make the state of Georgia move further left, not to the center where he really should want, especially if you're looking at like the politics of certain things. You're going to want the state of Georgia to move more to the center, not to the left. In this instance, Donald Trump is moving the state of Georgia to the left. We have here, as well as we have the King of Pentacles. Now, if you all know already, and you've been with me for quite a while, anybody who's sitting in this chair in any capacity when it's upright means that the person's in control, that they're empowered, that they're able to dictate certain things, that they're a winner, they're a victim. It's a birth. It means defeat. It means loss. It means you didn't have enough votes to win. But what does this also mean as well? Because when you look at the scientific aspect and the logistical aspect of what the tarot cards are saying, is that while they're analyzing the results and data, they're thinking that these people who voted against Trump in 2020 are the same people who voted against Trump in 2024. What they don't realize is as they punish those people, they're getting rid of their own voters who still back them. So that's what that means. That means that essentially, while Donald Trump is looking at the Georgia voter rolls and how they voted in the 2020 election, he's going to be purging his own people, costing him the next election to lose the state of Georgia. Because those people won't be verified, won't be registered to vote because they removed them from the voter rolls. That's what they're doing. And he is intentionally being sabotaged. So he's intentionally sabotaging himself, not willingly, because his ego is superseding that. That's why the Knight of Swords is coming here, because while he's paying attention to what he wants, his ego wants, he doesn't realize that he is actually attacking his own people. He's removing his own voters that so very much support him now because he has some sort of vendetta at the fact that they voted against him in 2020. This is what the Sun card is, that revelation. We have here the King of Pentacles, means he lose more voters come 2026, come 2027, 2028. So the Republicans all losing voters, specifically registered voters. And then we have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the 6 of Cups, the verse is simply indicating to me that this is in the future. This normally indicates the past administration, right? This means in the future, something happened in the state of Georgia and it's not going to follow the trend that it did in the prior. So what is the trend in the prior in which the state of Georgia followed was that it voted for the Republicans in 2024. Georgia is not going to vote the same way that it did in 2024. And he is going to be part of the reason why Georgia votes against the Republican. The top of the deck here, we have the Nine of Cups. The Nine of Cups is, he wants you to look at this fraud. Oh, look, I am figuring out the fraud of, the Biden scheme and stuff like that. This is the Nine of Cups here. This is supposed to alienate a certain demographic, supposed to alienate a certain group and also rally up his own base. But what he doesn't realize is that, all these says, all these accusations doesn't mean that it's fact. It's not rooted in reality, and that's why he's going to lose. This is the Three of Cups. He's going to lose that argument. Now, when it comes to the bottom of the deck, we have here the Five of Cups. This means no matter how the story goes in the state of Georgia with the 2020 ballot, it's going to come up to the same conclusion. The same conclusion is he is not in any capacity going to be going ahead in the state of Georgia in the next election. This is the 10 of Cups. I do feel like Georgia is going to go against Trump in this next couple elections that's coming. All right, so we have here the spark. Will Melania Trump have to testify publicly after Micheal Wolff files suit over her $1 billion lawsuit? Okay, so that would be kind of like a blind meeting because I don't really know what the context here or what that is. Okay, we could take a look at it. Spirit Angels tell me, will Melania Trump have to testify publicly after Micheal Wolff filed a suit over $1 billion lawsuit? Okay, I don't really know the context here, so I'm going to try my best. Okay, Spirit Angels tell me, will Melania Trump have to testify publicly after a lawsuit by Micheal Wolff? No. The bottom is the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups is an offer, but whatever it is that they're doing, they're going to try to put out a letter, but the letter doesn't reach Melania Trump. It doesn't see her. So it's like when you get jury duty notice, everybody knows, don't repeat this, but essentially you get jury duty, you just throw it in the trash and they don't even know that you never received it. Kind of the same thing with Melania Trump. They tell her you've been served in the trash, but like somebody else doesn't see it, so she can't be the one to receive it. It's in the garbage. And so therefore she cannot be reached. I don't see her being reached. The top of the deck is the Wheel of Fortune, means going back to the past. So whatever it is that Micheal Wolff is suing Melania Trump for is in the past. Something is in the past. So it might be limited in terms of how long somebody could be held accountable for something. It's like a time limit or something like that. We have the hanged man. Almost like he was betrayed, like he was either a friend with Melania or he had a business relationship or a partnership in some capacity and he was betrayed. I don't really know the relationship with Micheal Wolff. I don't even know who Micheal Wolff even is, but if anything, it does look like there was a partnership there that was betrayed. And when you look at the results and look at the data here in the cards, when it comes to Melania Trump, you have here the 10 of Wands. It is reversed. This normally indicates somebody who's struggling to push forward to get out in the open. I do feel like she can spin things and just pretend not to understand certain things. So, for example, what does that mean? She plays dumb. That's really what I'm saying here. She plays dumb and she uses her nationality to do it. The people like write it off, essentially. We also have here as well, we have the 6 of Wands. Here, the 6 of Wands means loss. There's a possibility that because she's not reachable, and Micheal Wolff is suing Melania Trump, there is a very strong possibility that Micheal Wolff could win the case on the simple statute that Melania Trump thought that she could be like Trump, where she don't have to testify or be on oath, and therefore she can just not get testified, and it will swing her way. But there doesn't seem to be like there's any form of defense, or she's not defending her name or defending her because she realizes that, oh, if I don't put myself out there, if I don't like get served, I can't be sued. But that doesn't seem to be the case. It does seem to be the case that she could possibly lose the case simply because she's not engaged in terms of the rationale of defending her image or her reputation. It does feel like that's the capability here. And then we have the 7 of Swords, which is all indicates something in terms of this means like the physical, the foundational aspect, and this is symbolizing the mental capacity, her mental dilemma. This is the 7 of Swords, and this is the relationship between Melania and Micheal Wolff, and this is the sensation that you took something away from me, I'm gonna take something from you. So it's like tit for tat, is what it feels like. This feels like it's more like petty like behavior. So it could also be as well, 'cause I don't see money winning. I don't see like Micheal Wolff getting any money out of it. It just feels like this is like more petty. This is more like high school popularity, like, oh, I'm gonna tarnish your reputation, I'm gonna bring you down, that type of notion rather than just money, if that makes any sense. I hope that I was able to provide you the answer. This is again a blind part for that. I don't really have no idea any of the contact between Micheal Wolff. I don't even know who Micheal Wolff is, and I had no idea what the lawsuit even is. So that was a blind meeting. So tell me if even that was accurate. Okay, he knew of her working for Epstein. Melania first sued Micheal Wolff journalist for $1 billion, and Michael countersued. Yeah, so it sounds petty, is what I thought it was. Yeah, that sounds petty. Okay, so a lot of you guys probably want to know about Kristie Noem's impeachment. So we are going to talk about Kristie Noem's impeachment. So Spirit Angel, tell me, will Kristie Noem be impeached and removed from office? I think, what does she do? Does she like do like Homeland Security or something like that? Will Kristie Noem be removed? Will Kristie Noem be removed? Will she be like impeached? Will she resign? Come on, one card. Thank you. Okay, so she is overlooking some sort of destruction, right? Kristie Noem, that's funny. Okay, so Kristie Noem, when you look at her, like who she is as a person, you ask them like the cards. Okay, will Kristie Noem be impeached or removed from office? The first 3 cards that come up right is the Sun card. The Sun card means to reveal, to showcase who you are. Like you think you're hot crap, that you think that you're coming out of the gate, that you're invincible, that you're strong, and you're protected. But here's the red flag. This card in this day and age symbolized to me it symbolized rebellion. It means resistance. So even though she thought that she was invincible, the resistance is tarnishing her image. It's putting her on the chopping block. It's making it very difficult for her to uphold that image, that persona of being strong and powerful and united, and nothing can take you down. The Sun card is indicating otherwise. It means exposure. It means the thing that you do, the thing that you thought that you were invincible from, will be exposed. Even your tactics, even your capabilities of your strength, you will be challenged. And here is being complemented by the Devil card, which means the exposure of dark things that you're doing. It's the exposure of the evil that you allow, the very bad tendencies of like ICE and Homeland Security and stuff like that. So Kristie Noem is going to be exposed in terms of the methodology and how they execute certain things across the United States. And it's being coupled underneath with the Three of Wands here. And the Three of Wands means overseeing a destruction. Now, if you've been with me for a very long time, even like about 5-6 years now, the Three of Wands, upright indicates to me overseeing the result of an election night, overseeing the destruction of a country, or seeing the country's change while you're being left behind. This is underneath the Sun card, which tells me that her being exposed to dark tendencies is going to not only lead to an electoral change on a more grandeur scale of the nation, but she will be left behind. So yes, it does look like as of now she will either be removed or impeached, but she does not have long in her position anymore. That's what the Three of Wands is indicating. Now, when we have the two cards that's in the past here, this is in the past, this is in the future, this is always the side it's always been on. In the past, these are the two cards that come up. This is the Ace of Pentacles, being given money, given funding, being given resources, and saying that, Kristie Noem recently said that the law, and I would just follow in orders. This is what the Page of Wands simply means. The Page of Wands, just because you were given money, just because things were given the go-ahead, just because things were made legal, doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it humane. It doesn't make it okay. That's what this means. The Ace of Pentacles means given the resources, given the capabilities to go ahead without any sort of restriction. And the Page of Wands is that belief that, you're invincible. But you only realize that you have minor growth. You have minor growth in your popularity. She's going to tank her popularity. And if anything, it's already there because the Devil on top of the Sun means the exposure of dark intention, the exposure of bad tactics across the entirety of the United States, and then coupled with the destruction card and overseeing the destruction and being left behind. I want to say, yeah, it does look like she either gets removed, resigns, or impeached from office. It does look like Kristie Noem is not going to be in the White House any longer. So, no. And I need water. Again, I'm like so thirsty for some reason. Alright. Let's see, what are you guys saying? Okay, Trump would throw her under the bus like he does everybody else, even when he is the one who is doing all this. He throws everybody under the bus. Yep, that's right. When Trump leaves, what happened to the Republican Party? This is also true by Laughter. Hello, Laughter. Americans, don't forget that Trump is not acting alone. Many are enabling him. They also need to go. I've been saying that for a long time. People think that if Trump dies, everything goes to normal. That's a funny joke. It's not. Okay, so when Trump leaves, what happened to the Republican Party? That's a good question. Let me see if I can get my cards out. I'm getting this deck, and I haven't used this deck in a political reading, but it's called the Sleepy Hollow. For some reason, this is the thing that's attracting me to reading on what happened to the Republican Party after Trump is no longer gone. When Trump is gone, excuse me. So let's ask. And remember, Trump is around New York City, so this would be more fitting anyway. The Pumpkin King, I think some people call him. So Spirit Angels, tell me, what happened to Trump? What happened to the Republican Party after Trump? Now, I do know that there's a very strong probability, about 57% chance, that the Democrats and Republicans merge into one party after Trump. But that's going to take an election before that even occurs. So an election after Trump is gone, then the probability and the chances of the Democrats and Republicans merging into one party is very high. All right. But that's a whole other thing for a whole other story. Okay, Spirit Angel, tell me about Donald Trump and what happened to the Republican Party. Okay, and then we have a middle card. What's it going to be? The definer. Okay. And then for those of you guys who are new and haven't been with me for that long, these are what's called my index tarot cards. Anything that's white means that it's minor. Anything that's colored means that it's major. All right. So the SCOTUS in reverse. So just let you know that if it comes up, we know that there's something going on with SCOTUS. Just stop it. Stop that. Spirit Angel, tell me what happened to the Republican Party after Trump. Okay, I don't know how it's going to respond. I don't know if it's going to give it the short term or the long term. Someone give me a color: pink, yellow, blue, dark blue, or white. Okay. Blue. So Debbie says blue. All right. We'll take one blue card. Whatever blue, either light or black or dark. Okay, I feel this one. All right, so this is for Debbie. Okay. All right, so let's see what's happened to the Republican Party. Ooh, wicked. Okay. All right, so that is the first card, wicked. What's happened to the Republican Party after Trump? Ooh, okay, so we have here Biden in reverse, which means like the conservative style Democrats. All right, or liberal Republicans. We have here SCOTUS. Okay, so it came up twice, so we have confirmation of SCOTUS came in. And then the last card here, the clock strikes 12. Okay. Let's see. So what's going to happen to the Republican Party after Trump? We have here the first card is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have the 8 of Cups. Someone who is not wishing for the good days to come back, right? This is somebody who is looking at the window and wishing for the best days of the Republican Party to come back. This is reversed. It's saying that no, these Republicans, they don't think that, having Trump in the past wasn't part of the good days. It wasn't part of the best days of Republicans. Now remember, this also includes Abraham Lincoln, includes Ronald Reagan, includes Richard Nixon, and Teddy Roosevelt. They're not looking at those people. They don't see those as the golden age for the Republicans. There's something within the Republican Party after Trump that truly believed that the Republican Party has more to offer, that the good days are ahead of it, not behind it. That's what the Eight of Cups comes in as. And here is you have is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the 7 of Cups reverse. The 7 of Cups reverse means that you have many paths. You have many ways to go where you want to go. But because you chose a specific outcome, because you chose a specific path, that is now your future. Now you are stuck with this. So it's saying here that because MAGA became the Republican Party and the Republican Party became MAGA and they became synonymous, they will become that. They will stay that way. They won't change. They will always be that way. And that would explain why they don't see Trump as the golden age. They just see him at the beginning, but not the end. And here you have is the Wheel of Fortune card. The Wheel of Fortune is to create, to weave things together. This is to sew things together. They don't want things together. Because the Wheel of Fortune, and this is the clothing wheel, this is the spinning wheel. This normally makes clothing, right? This is something you wear. This is something you make, whatever. Its reverse is indicating they don't want to create something. There is no image here. There isn't a pathway. There isn't a guide. There isn't like a connection for the future. It's just people who purposely want to sabotage things because they're unhappy with the way things are being manufactured. And a part of them feel in their own mental state that they feel like they're being left behind. But the thing is, they're not left behind. They just want to feel that way because that's what makes them feel comfortable. And so that's what the Wheel of Fortune card reverse means. The reverse just means that they're not wanting to create something, they're wanting to destroy something. So the Republican Party in the future, beyond Trump, what happened to the Republican Party? They are still embracing the ideology, they're still embracing the tactic of Trump. They don't see the past as a golden period. They see the future as something that has potential, even if that means destroying things again. And underneath the Seven of Cups, you have the Five of Cups. And this is somebody who's drunk. This is somebody who couldn't deal with something, who couldn't feel the overwhelming disbelief. I have a feeling that even when Donald Trump is gone, the Republicans won't feel remorse for what they did. These are true, genuine Nazis. They're true, genuine Confederates and stuff like that. Remember, people have thought for the longest time that, the Civil War was over in the United States, but yet we still have people celebrating, showcasing Confederate flags and stuff like that. So you have to ask yourself, did the Civil War ever truly end? And so, in essence, yes, most people might not carry a Trump flag or a MAGA flag anymore, but the ideology as a whole still remains very much persistent, still very much relevant well into the future, which tells me it's going to be kind of like what we see with the Confederates, where until something else harnesses the same energy, the same equal, it's going to be still there, persistent within the background, within the foreground, right? It's going to be in the background, not the foreground, excuse me. And so when we start to look at this a little bit more specifically, a little bit more detailed, we're asking what is the future of the Republican Party well after Trump is gone? The first card that was picked by Debbie, by the way, when I asked, like, okay, guys, pick out a color, Debbie says blue. This is the card that came out, Wicked. Wicked, right? This means that the party is at its core dark. It is not a good party, and it chose that path and now is stuck on that path. Its image is ruined. But here, with this card here, they believe in their own messed up way that the good days are ahead. So there are some sense of delusions beyond that, saying that, well, I believe that the better days are ahead of us. And underneath this wicked card, we have here that them being forced to take a path and sticking with that path no matter whether Trump is gone or not. And you have here them not feeling remorseful for that, but them to just embrace that and just continues on. You have SCOTUS. SCOTUS means justice. It means the ability to value. What is the law? What do you dictate? This means it comes down to the judicial branch. Are they going to hold these people accountable? The government, the new institution that take place, are they going to hold these people who've done the things in the past, which is where we are now, or in the video at least, are they going to hold those people accountable? That's the question. And as of right now, SCOTUS, it doesn't look like it's made a choice yet. We're so very much well in it. And even in the future, we're so going to be in it. I don't think that we're going to be out of it immediately, even after Trump. And so after in the future, we do have the clock strikes 12, even after them desiring destruction, to destroy something. It even means that, remember, even when all the Republicans feel this way, even MAGA and the Five of Cups reverse, it simply means that they want to destroy what they created. They want to destroy the evidence, the same way the Confederates did, the same way they want to erase all the bad stuff to make them look good. That's what the clock strikes 12 means. It means time is up, and they're going to rush to destroy as much as they did. So they're going to try to erase Trump, which is why they're not embracing him in any way. But that doesn't mean that the ideology is gone. It doesn't mean that people don't feel the same way. Once a Nazi, always a Nazi, right? That's the thing I got. So the Republican Party, just at its core, it doesn't change who it is. It just changes with the time to fool people into believing that they change. You turn the light off, turn the light back on, please. But they feel and they change the way things are in our life, right? Now let's go ahead. Let's see what some of you guys are saying now. All right. Okay, my card told me that he only has 2 years. This year, I don't think he will be here. Okay, so my cards, even in my reading, put it at no longer past 2028. So he will be gone before 2028, but he would kind of in like a protected period up until April of 2026, and then anytime between April all the way until the end of 2027. Anything can happen. He can go within the first 2 days of 2027. He can go to the very last day of 2027. So it just looks like he is not protected within that period. So anything can happen, even death or even an assassination. Can you see what it says about the military? I'm concerned about that so bad. I actually did a video on the military, but I can take another look at it. I put the United States military up against the American citizens, and who are they going to pick? Are they going to pick the side of the government, or are they going to pick the side of the American citizen? We're going to talk about that in a moment, but I'm just going to go through some questions. I mean, not go through some questions. I'm going to go through some things that people are saying, and then we'll answer that question. Trump will be gone this year, I'm thinking. Another probability, I mean, if you watch my government shutdown video back in November, which I posted on the community page, and you read like the AI like summary of that video, it will tell you that at some point it does give an opportunity when the release of the Epstein file for a leadership change, but a temporary leadership change. It's not a permanent one. So there is a possibility that Donald Trump could take a step back or a break, but he will not be like removed from power, at least at that time. Hi, so another live. Yeah, I've been jamming music, writing, hanging out, having fun, but it's just me. This is something I didn't think I'll see again so soon. Yeah, I normally don't do lives often, but I just felt like why not? Okay, so let's do your question out in the military. Let me just find it. Okay. Okay, what is the card that best represents the United States military? Okay, we're gonna use my homemade tarot deck. I made this myself. We're gonna use it. There's no better way to know what the military is thinking than use my own tarot deck. Okay, let me just put it in. Then we're good. Okay. They're all going to pick the Americans 100%. I just moved out of a military house and they are with us. Okay. So spiritual angels tell me about the United States military. If being forced to choose between the American people or the United States government, what would 99%, well, that's a very bad percentage. What will be 51% of U.S. military members or soldiers or generals or leaders choose? Will they choose the side of the Americans or will they choose the side of the United States government? If force, what will they pick? Okay. If force, what will they pick? Swing seat decides. There's a lot of green here. So this is the army. It's talking about specific branches of government or branches of the military. The army. Okay. Show me the navy. What would the navy pick? I don't know who is purple. If there's anybody who knows like more of like the level of the military, let me know who represents purple. Okay. Show me like I guess people in the Air Force. Who will they choose? Who would they choose? People in the Air Force, the United States government, or the American people or force? Okay. This is the first time I ever did like an actual branch of the government, more specifically the military. Normally it's just a branch and it's just generic. Okay. Anything else? No. Okay. Alright, so the way this works is any card that is reversed gets flipped. That's the real meaning that they're trying to tell us. Anything that is upright is stays completely fine. So as in regards to the Army, the Navy, and the Air Force, this is the section in how I'm labeling it. Oh, Purple Heart. Air Force for the people. Okay, thank you. Now that makes sense. Alright, so the first two cards that come up for the Army is we have here Democrats lose. Now that is reverse. This means Republicans lose. And now the Republicans are in the White House. They're in the one in control of government, right? So in this instance, it does look like the Army is on the side of the American. It makes sense though because they're going to come from swing states. They're going to be rebelling against the government or turning against the government or helping people in these specific states, particularly in regards to like Minnesota, for example. So while the Army is going to be actively engaged and being used against the Americans, there's going to be a certain branch of government that's going to be dedicated to protecting Americans from the tyranny of the government. And it does feel like it's going to be at nighttime, and it's going to try to take people. I'm like seeing a whole line of people just running, but like they're in like a file, and they're telling people to be quiet, but like they're crunching down and they're just running. But the military is actively engaged in protecting Americans in these states, particularly Democratic-led states. So it does feel like the military is going to be used against the Americans, but it doesn't look like the Army is going to partake in that. In the daylight, it's going to look like as if they're against the Americans, but at nighttime, it's a whole different story. Now, when it comes to the swing states right here, which is going to be the Navy, we asked about the Navy, then the Purple Card just randomly showed up. So for the Purple Heart people, the Purple Heart recipient, the Air Force for the people, so it's part of the Air Force for Purple Heart. We have here swing states decide the election of 2000. So it's kind of split. Half of them are going to support the government. The other half is going to support the Americans. So it's going to be split down the middle, pretty much. Now, when it comes to the Navy, they have full support of the Navy. Full support. So the Navy is 100% behind the resistance against the president or against the government. So this is the Democrats' hold, and here is World War. It's all blue. It's a military officer with the Democrats here. They are not the ones in power. We're asking, are they going to defend the American people, especially if there's any problems? It's a yes. So yes, I do see that. Okay, and then we have here is what is the Air Force. We have the Statue of Liberty in reverse. We have here the Founding Fathers. Interesting. So they're going to go back to the principle, the oath of office, the oath that they have to take when they get sworn in, or not. I don't know if they get sworn in, but the oath they take to be part of the military. And the unemployment here, which is reverse, which is the unemployment card is reverse, is swing states decide the election of 2000. So it's very interesting that it's 2000 again. But we have the Army. So it does feel like in some capacity there are two opposing opinions when it comes to the Air Force, at least people in the Air Force, in the military. And so the two things that I'm seeing here is that one, some of them are going to say, well, I support the Constitution and the people. They're going to see the government as a tyranny against the Constitution in which they swore to protect. And then there is going to be a certain demographic that said, no, I can't go against the government because it is the Constitution in which I sworn to protect. So it's like there is a little bit opposing opposite, but they're kind of like in the same viewpoint. They understand they're both supporting the Constitution, but it's like how they see the Constitution being used, whether they feel like it's them owing the government their loyalty no matter what. And there's going to be a certain demographic that feels like we're going to owe the Constitution loyalty, and we feel like the government is trampling those loyalties in which we promised to protect. So it seems to be up in the air. So as of right now, the Army is fully behind the American people. The Navy is fully behind. The ones that are 50-50 here look to be in the Air Force and Purple Heart. That's what I'm seeing in terms of the military. But if you had to put them all together, it does look like in some capacity, in some way, there is seem to be a lot more support for the American people. All right, that's what I'm getting for the military. Okay, let's see. Let's see what the next question is. My version of MAGA may go away overseas. Yes, we will have better days ahead. Yeah, we have to go through this, unfortunately. Maybe we should make blue hats with MAGA as a reinvention, new blue wave of enlightening, making America great again after felon 45 is gone. No, I would not recommend that. I had a psychic channel a long time ago in May where it said Democrats to become like MAGA. That is not a good idea. So do not do that. Because MAGA is a spell if you haven't realized the word and the origin of MAGA. MAGA is a spell. It means magic. Don't wear anything that indicates the word MAGA. Okay, they would never face legal justice, only common law. They're all in the foul, they do weird things, but they are moronic, they're intellectually disabled. Name one person has power or that's intelligent, they are below the average. That is typically true. All right, so let's see. Will there be a transitional government until 2028 or JD to 2028 and then regular election 2028? Okay, I'm gonna drink some water and then want to talk about that. Okay, so it says here, will there be a transitional government until 2028, to 2028, and then or a regular election if JD Vance is president? Well, here I have listed President Vance is one of the topics. We're going to talk about President Vance, and then we'll go from there, because that seems to be like what you're kind of asking anyway. So we'll go from there. Okay, so Spiritual Angel Tommy, President J.D. Vance. Tell us the story of President J.D. Vance from when he was sworn in to when he is no longer president. Tell me about the rise of President J.D. Vance. The rise of J.D. Vance. Okay. The bottom of the deck is we have the sun. It was a coup. So if J.D. Vance was to become president, it was something to do with taking Trump out. That's what it feels like. It could be 25th Amendment. It could be poisoning of the food. Something took him out. I'm hearing the word take out. The top of the deck here is we have the 5 of Cups, which means funeral or the ending of a political dynasty. Hello, Brenda. How are you, my love? It's the political ending of a political dynasty, right? So that's what I'm getting. So that is the beginning of the story, how J.D. Vance rose to the presidency. Because now what I'm looking at is I'm not looking at, will J.D. Vance be president? I'm looking at, okay, President J.D. Vance is president. What is the story and how did he get there? That tells us everything you need to know. And actually, when I've done this multiple times in many videos back in 2021, a lot of them came true because we ended up going into that timeline. Instead of being very specific, it narrowed it down, let the tarot cards and the energy speak to us. So we have we have the 8 of Cups. The 8 of Cups means leaving the right. It means the predecessor was the Trump in this instance, which is why it looks like Trump. This is the card that always represented Donald Trump when he was leaving back in 2020 and 2021, that he was going to lose the presidency in that election cycle. This is the 8 of Cups. It means lost. It means to walk away. It means to no longer obtain power. We're asking about, President J.D. Vance, and here it is. He is being given an opportunity, the golden opportunity, the Ace of Wands, to now take the lead, to give him the go-ahead to now be president. Here you have is the 5 of Swords reversed, which means not knowing when to know your boundaries and when to walk away, and when a fight needs to stop. It does tell me here that J.D. Vance has an ambition. He has a drive, and anything that is posing an obstacle to that drive is considered an enemy. And so even when Donald Trump is gone, J.D. Vance is going to try to remove as many obstacles that he is facing, anything that can get in his way, anything that could prevent him from being president. Here you have is the page of stores. The page of stores is reversed, which tell me he hasn't, like, he's not a new president in any way. I feel like he had leadership experience at the presidential level, at the oath of office or the Oval Office. And people start to realize, oh, oh my God. So Trump wasn't like really there. Trump was an auto pen, and JD Vance was the one running the show. Kind of like how they accused Biden of being an auto pen for Harris, who was running the whole country. This is the page of stories reversed, and it does give that clear indication that there seemed to be policy, very, very mild policy difference between Trump and J.D. Vance, and it kind of makes people think, oh, so Trump and J.D. Vance wrote similar style, they wrote in the same notion, they have similar policies and all these things. This is the page of swords reversed. It doesn't mean like much change. It just the guy became younger, essentially, what it's saying. This is the page of swords reversed. It's followed in by the chariot. It means that rushing into power, moving in full head of steam, full speed. This means to try to consolidate as much power as well, because it does seem to be there is a sense of disloyalty within the Republican Party or within the nation as a whole. It does feel like people are breaking ranks. People are disavowing the government. So it does feel like when Trump is gone, and J.D. Vance is assuming the office of the presidency, there seems to be some sort of turmoil across the nation where people are starting to kind of like almost like in a way challenge the government. Like there is some sort of challenge here, but it's not like a challenge of a major crisis or anything like that. It means that they're questioning the government, and he does not want to be questioned, especially when he assumed the power of the presidency. There's going to be some sort of rumor that could be floating around this time that he murdered Trump, or that he tried to remove Trump in any way, and so he's going to try to censor that type of information, further making it harder for people to really believe that he is innocent. Then we follow in by the strength card in reverse, which is the ending of his presidency. He is a very, very weak individual. He posed himself as somebody who was strong, who is able to lead the same policy as Donald Trump, but that did not help him with Donald Trump's base, particularly because there is a lot of questioning and distrust and belief that J.D. Vance is part of the deep state rather than part of Trump and his heuristic or whatever they believe Donald Trump is to be. They believe that J.D. Vance does not represent that, so there is seem to be a falling out between J.D. Vance and the MAGA people and the country as a whole. There is a sense of distrust, especially with the disappearance of Trump. And here you have is the page of one, which is the challenge to this, is the rise in new leadership, a new position. It does feel like, people are going to accuse him the same way that they accused Harris of, she did things in order to reach the top, but she had to do things in order to increase her level of position, because she's a woman. That was the thing that they were saying. Well, in this instance, they're going to say the same thing about J.D. Vance, because there's going to be some sort of report that comes out that J.D. Vance doesn't have straight tendencies. There does seem to be a little bit of homosexual behavior, which is going to um, tarnish the way that he is being perceived, especially when extending to the presidency. So does seem to be some issues around the country and his perception around the world, even at home, that challenges whether or not he can hold on to the office of the presidency. So that is what I'm getting for J.D. Vance in terms of what it's like with J.D. Vance as president and stuff like that. He doesn't seem to have as much power, much influence as Trump, despite having almost practically the same policy as Trump or same wording to the nine. Doesn't make it different because people have some sense of distrust within the government, and J.D. Vance represents the system rather than outside the system. So that's what I'm getting. All right. I hope that was able to answer your question. So I'm looking at the chat here. Okay. Will Trump send ICE into Pennsylvania? If so, what will Governor Shapiro do? All right, let's go ahead. Let's take a look at that. Conspiracy angels tell me, will Donald Trump, the President of the United States, or Kristie Noem, or the head of ICE, or whatever you want to call it, will they be in Pennsylvania, the state of Pennsylvania? Will ICE be in Pennsylvania, in the state of Pennsylvania? Okay, there's a lot of cards here. Seems to be a lot of name blaming. That's what it feels like. What's the bottom of the deck? We have here the 4 of coins. There seems to be walking away. There seem to be politicians are walking away from whatever's going on in Pennsylvania. There seem to be ignoring the obvious. The top of the deck here is the Emperor, just causing chaos in the swamp and just making everything more dirty and disgusting than it already is. So it is going to get worse in Pennsylvania. And here you have it, the world card in reverse. So it's going to go into a dark period for Pennsylvania. So yeah, it does look like there is going to be some sort of activity, and it's going to be because the military, not the military, but like the politicians in Pennsylvania kind of ignore the issue at play. There does seem to be some sort of ignorance here. We have the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups, like reverse, is simply indicating moving towards the past. So it's going to be kind of the same old, same old. That's why it's in the past direction. We have here as well, we have the Devil card. What is being at play in the state of Pennsylvania? The Devil, it means restriction. It means to control, to dominate. Remember, we talked about how the army was going to go towards blue states. Well, it's going to be something similar to that. And the army is also indicated by ICE and the military and National Guard. So I wouldn't be surprised if the National Guard is called in to the state of Pennsylvania. We have here, we have the 9 of Cups. And the Knight of Cups just means, come on, it's almost like bait. I'm feeling like they're the bait here. They're using Pennsylvania as a bait to get people to be drawn out of their homes. It's a baiting tool. For something, whatever they're doing, they're trying to bait people out of their homes. And here you have the High Priestess. The High Priestess is the Constitution, the ability to protest, the ability to defend yourself, to be able to have the freedom of speech. This is the High Priestess card. It is here. It means that they're trying to beat people into exercising the First Amendment right because it leaves them more vulnerable because it's going to threaten them. Yes, numbers, big groups in numbers really does help, but it does seem like there's a bait here. They're using these people as bait. And here you have it, the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups is to contain. They are looking to lock people up. They're looking to lock protesters up. That's why there's a lot of bait in here. It doesn't have to do with immigration anymore. I don't see anything that indicates immigration. I see a lot of baiting protesters and taking protesters away. I do see a lot of bait. And here you have the Judgment card. The Judgment here is making the wrong call, and it's supposed to act as a rallying cry. Oh, we're cleaning the streets of like the radical leftists, these are all paid protesters and we're getting rid of them, etc. This is the Judgment card. The Judgment card is using the media to get people to come out. So to answer your question here, Brenda, you're asking, will they unalive somebody in order to get people out? To be honest with you, the Judgment card does look like they're going to use any tactic that gets people outside. Whatever it is, whatever it takes. If it means hurting somebody in order to get more people outside, they would absolutely do it. But I don't think that would be the right thing for me to read on because it's all in the moment. Sometimes the energy is just there, and the Judgment card means no control. It means the ability to just do without restraint. So hurting somebody and be able to use that as a tool to bait people out of their home, the Judgment card is indicating that specific notion, and hurting somebody is out of control, if you know what I mean. Purple Heart recipients could be any branch, anyone injured during service. They are in Maryland. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. So underneath this 9 of Cups here, which is to, cause protests and stuff like that. And we have the High Priestess card. Underneath this 9 of Cups here, we have the 6 of Six of Wands is to bait people. That's literally what I'm seeing here. It's the bait. And this is the Devil card. It's to really, really bring out. So there's going to be a very big connection here. There's going to be a big fight that's going to happen in Pennsylvania. This is the people versus the oppression, and then this is being used as a tool to threaten to hurt people in Pennsylvania. So now that we have confirmation to your question here, yes, we do have that. But in this instance, it's more symbolic. It's being used as a threatening tool rather than what happened in Minnesota where it was used on camera. This one is a little bit more sophisticated. This one's more planned out. This one's more a ritual, if you will. This is more to create theatric to, kind of like hang somebody like via lynching, which is something that is more symbolic of what happened in the past, right? That is what the Devil card is, coupled with the Six of Wands, is to bait people and to actually hurt them. This is somebody who's premeditated. This is somebody who has planned to hurt people, but they're going to do it in a way that's symbolic, something that sends a message to them. They don't see people protesting as just protesters. They see them as resistance, and they want to squash that. So they're going to use the Devil card against the protesters. And underneath the High Priestess, which is the Moon card, which is hidden behavior. So while you're thinking that, the sun is going down and that you'll be able to do things, here you don't see the two wolves are not looking towards the moon. They're looking at you. They're looking to attack you. They're on high alert. Their hair is standing up. They're looking to attack you. That's what this is. This is the High Priestess, to exercise your ability to, come out and exercise your First Amendment, to protest, and in any capacity. I'm not saying you should not, but it does look like, because you guys were asking about the state of Pennsylvania, it looks like they're going to try to bait people out of their homes. And it's being coupled with the Queen of Cups here, which means to contain people, to lock them up, and to contain them. We have here the Seven of Cups here, which means blood. Blood on the cup here. There's going to be a lot of pointing around. So if you're asking about what's happening with Governor Shapiro and what's happening in the state of Pennsylvania, it's going to be like strong-worded messages, but it's not really going to be anything that's substantial that prevents ICE or any sort of amenities happening in Pennsylvania to stop them. Hello, Nathan. How are you, my love? And then you also have here the strength of the opposition. They are going to try to squander the resistance. It does seem like the resistance actually grows rather than squandering, but they are going to take people away. And it's going to be a bloodbath. It's going to be almost like a battle, if you will. We have the Five of Cups. This means there's going to be a couple incidents, like 4 incidents, that leads up to the big one. So there's going to be 4 incidents. I don't know if that's going to take place in Pennsylvania specifically or other 4 different areas, and then Pennsylvania being the main one. They see Pennsylvania as the battleground. And the reason why I see Pennsylvania as the battleground is because it's Gettysburg. I'm getting at Gettysburg. I'm feeling like Gettysburg. It's almost like they see it as symbolic, not to, in some way, they see it as symbolic. They're essentially saying to all those people who are, who support MAGA, who support that Nazi-like apparatus, who have the Confederate flag, to say that, no, we did not lose the war. We are going to win. That the Civil War is still ongoing. We just had a truce, if you will. That's what it feels like. It feels like they're using Pennsylvania as the main battlefield, because that's where Abraham Lincoln spoke and talked to the nation, united we stand, divided we fall. And that's the whole point. The point is to divide people so things fall. And then here you have is the Four of Wands here. It means to be careful because there's going to be 4 incidents. So if people want to go out and protest and do stuff like that, by all means, go ahead and do it. Until you see the 4 incident, that's it. That's when it's time to come inside to be safe, because they are baiting. That's what it feels like. They're baiting people now. All right, guys. I think that's pretty much it. Let me just read some of your comments. Maybe there's one more thing that might come out. Okay. Why are they building all these ICE concentration camps? Will they hold them forever for profit? Actually, I had a dream about that vision a long, long time ago when I was, I think it was 11. 11 years old, I had visions of concentration camps in the United States. I actually talked about it multiple times back in 2020 and all the other 6 years before 2026. I talked about concentration camps in the United States. People didn't take the warning. Now they believe it, but back then, no, they didn't. They did not believe that concentration camps are a thing. There is concentration camps on the way currently being built in the state of Indiana right now. They are passing the legislation that passed the legislative branch in Indiana, where they redefine how to legally and humanely kill criminals. And so, as you all know, the most humane way is lethal injection, but they decided to pass an amendment with abortion, and attached to that abortion amendment in the state of Indiana is attached an amendment that legalizes shooting by firing squad and gas chambers in the state of Indiana, and coinciding that with the umbrella term criminals. And so building detention camps in Indiana is essentially saying that we're making concentration camps without putting two to two together, but they're using abortion as a cover-up to be able to hide some of the more sinister stuff that they're planning to do. So we will have to do a separate live video for ICE concentration camp. That is something that's more dedicated, and it shouldn't be something that should be rushed in any capacity. So soon in the future, in February, we are going to do a video on concentration camps in the United States, and I will talk more about my predictions and my psychic vision and stuff like that. I have talked about it many times on the channel, but it will be a little bit more detailed, and we do have other videos related to concentration camps in the United States. But if you go to my upload videos, you'll see a whole bunch. But that I feel like that's a question that needs more attention. So I'm sorry I couldn't answer it. I shove a woman to the ground. I have taken children. Yep, that's pretty much right. Hello, Nathan. I'm glad you're doing okay. I'm all right. I'm getting ready to leave soon, so the live is unfortunately ending. But I'm doing all right. Thank you. Thank you for asking. Okay. Just make sure everybody make sure everybody's safe and protected. Thank you, guys. Exactly. All right, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Click the like, subscribe, hit the bell icon. I will see you guys soon. Thank you all for watching, and keep an eye out. And probably say about the next 20, 30, 40 minutes, I'll have a whole video of this specific video uploaded with comment section branching you out to other videos that's related to the topic of the question that we asked today. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. Peace out. Love you. Stay safe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.